Welcome, everyone, to the Opinionation Podcast. I am your host, King Daddy. Today will be our very first podcast on our new podcast host, Transistor. We have currently decided to make this change because we like their analytics a little better and the way that they send our show out to various people. It's just a simpler process, and we're going to give this a try, and hopefully it will work out. Not saying that the other wasn't great as well, but this just offered me a few more opportunities to do more stuff that I really wanted to do, so we decided to make a change. Whether it's a permanent change or not, I do not know at this time. But after we put a few more episodes out there, we should be able to let you know something. But either way, you'll still be able to find us. We're not going anywhere. But today I want to talk about, this is a subject matter that's kind of near and dear to my heart in a way. And it's something that I never would have dreamed of a couple of years ago being something that I actually really gave a shit about. But now I do, and I kind of have to. But let's go back, and I'll digress a little and kind of tell you the story for those of you who are not regular listeners, who have not followed us over to the Transistor yet. Although I will tell you, we will still be on Spotify and all those other places, so you will be able to find us. But a little over 2 years ago, I had a cardiac arrest. And when I got to the hospital, after I woke up, had no clue where I was at, they gave me all this information about this major heart surgery that I needed to have. And it was a quadruple bypass, which I underwent 5 days later. Well, in the midst of all this and going back and forth to the doctor and for my recovery, I got to where I was stumbling around and falling and doing some various things. Well, to make a long story short, I ended up having a neurological condition, which I've actually had probably since I was a child, and it just seemed, coincidentally or not, to get worse after the cardiac arrest, called Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which affects my walking and my balance. It actually affects the muscles in my legs and arms, and I'm losing some muscle function, making it very difficult to walk. So therefore I walk on a cane. I have a service dog, blah, blah, blah. None of that's important. I'm doing well. Don't feel bad for me. Everything's okay. But what I really have never noticed before is how horribly rude people are in public when it comes to getting out of the way of handicapped people, being courteous. So let me just give you a prime example. My wife and I went shopping over the Christmas holidays. Now, the Christmas holidays isn't the only time that this has happened, but it just happened to be the worst because more people were out, obviously. But you're walking through the store, you have your cane, and people will come plowing down through there and literally just run you over. They will walk into a store and they will not even hold the door. And the door will just slam right in your face as you get ready to walk through the door. Now, keep in mind, it's not a very easy thing anymore just to go walk around the store and go in and out and around like I did when I was so-called normal. So it's very, very imperative that I not have anything happen to make me lose my balance any worse than I have, because I have already fallen down one time in a dressing room in an academy sports. So, there are situations that I get put into occasionally that make me not very sturdy on my feet. So I've just been noticing as of late the extreme rudeness of people. They don't say excuse me, they ram into you. If you're standing there like my wife will be shopping over here and I'll try to find a place to stand where I'm out of everybody's way. It seems like I can sit there and watch nobody come down that path until I decide to stand there, and then everybody wants to squeeze their way through. It's almost like they have a vendetta. Hey, let's see if we can knock down the guy on the cane. And it's even worse when I carry my service dog with me, because they will not get out of the way for her. I have to stop in mid-aisle and get her to scoot over and come behind me, because nobody will move out of the way so that she can walk down the aisle beside me like she's supposed to. So then I've taken it one step farther, and I have just been noticing people's rudeness in general. And it is absolutely out of hand at how rude people are in public. One of my biggest pet peeves has always been, at the number one of my rude list, is the person who will go outside of a big box store door and stand right in the doorway and light their cigarette. Now, here I am, and I think about it more now because, anytime you have a bypass surgery, it also affects your lungs and your breathing. They tell you when you first get home from the hospital not to even go outside and breathe cold air. So smoke is a definite no-no, but then you got these lame fuckers who can't wait a half a second to get to their car to light their cigarette, and they stand 2 feet outside of the slider doors, and they'll light their cigarette so that when you come out or go in, regardless of my health issues, regardless of people with asthma, regardless of children with breathing problems, they will stand right in the doorway and smoke that cigarette as if they don't have a care in the world other than smoking. That is the rudest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Another rude thing that I have noticed, and I have never, ever done this. I don't believe I could live with myself internally if I did, but sometimes they're like senior citizens who come in the store and they want to get them a buggy or a shopping cart, whatever your area of living wants to call it. We call it a buggy down here in the South. They want to go over there and get them a buggy, and the buggies will be stuck together and they can't get them apart. And people will go over there and just bypass them, grab their own buggy and take off. I have never not gone over there and helped them and I still do it. Even though I can't walk very well, go over there and help them undo the buggy so that they can have one and make their way through the store. I mean, I don't want to see some elderly person get injured or anything just trying to get a shopping cart. So I help them. But I've noticed so many people that do not help. And another thing that I have noticed, again, I notice things more now since I have become disabled myself, that people will go in and just use the handicapped bathroom. Now, I'm guilty of that before, and I'm not going to lie about it. I understand, and I'll be a little graphic for you. The cleanest stall in an entire bathroom in public, if you're going to have to take a poop, is the handicapped stall. It's always the cleanest. But there are always people in and out of the handicapped stall who are not handicapped. There's rails in there for a reason. And people who do not need the rails, people who are not on a walker, on a cane, in a wheelchair, go in there and just spend all this time using the handicapped bathroom while there could technically be a handicapped person needing to use it. And if you go to our local Target, Not only do they have a handicapped stall in the bathrooms, they have a family bathroom that people will go in there. The handicapped bathrooms, or the family bathroom, is handicapped as well. These people will go in the family bathroom and use it while they're leaving people with children or other handicapped people who could use that bathroom with a wheelchair or whatever. No opportunity to be able to use the bathroom because they're using it. And then they go in there and they piss all over the floor. They piss all over the seat. The bathroom is nasty and it smells. And that's not the intended use for the bathroom. So in general, people in public are so damn rude, it is uncalled for. Another pet peeve that I have out in public, and I know if a lot of you listen to this and you think about these pet peeves, you're going to know that they're yours as well. Another pet peeve that I have is for you to get in line at the store and for them to open up a new register next to you, and the person in the very back of the line will run and take that brand new open register while you're trying to scoot yourself over because you're next in line. You know, they called you to come over. They're making it more convenient for you so you won't have to wait as long. So then you have a person who got in line 6 or 8 people behind you, all of a sudden gets checked out first. Because they're rude and they have no, I don't know, I'm going to say sense of pride about themselves. It's just a me first kind of world that we live in, and nobody takes responsibility for trying to do the right thing anymore. People are just outrageously rude. They're outrageously rude on the highway when it comes to driving. I was going down the road yesterday. There was a car in front of me that was going through a roundabout at about 5 miles an hour when they could have at least done 20. I could have easily blown my horn and tried to speed them up, but I happened to notice that they were elderly, so I just let them go 5 miles an hour. Well, all of a sudden, the car behind me gets up on my ass end and starts hammering down on their horn like I could absolutely do something about the person going 5 miles an hour in front of me. When my wife drives for work every morning, there are people who will speed past her doing 80 miles an hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, only to end up right next to her at the exact same stoplight that she's at. But in the process of doing all this, they've changed lanes in front of 3 people, passed in an inappropriate lane, and almost caused several accidents just to end up at the stoplight at the exact same time as my wife. Who does that shit? Knowing how many deaths are on the highway because of the way people drive, how many people drive that way, and half of them that are driving that way are doing it while they're texting on their phone. I mean, it is a dangerous world that we live in. And then when you become moderately handicapped like myself, it becomes more dangerous because you would think that other members of the human race would be more humane toward you than what they are, but they're not. It is absolutely so fucked up that I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It is absolutely crazy. You know, I stay home a lot, mainly because I just don't really have that many places to go, and I really don't need to go that many places. I mean, I go to doctor's appointments and I go to the YMCA and get in the pool. And every once in a while, I run up to the tattoo shop and hang out with my old buddies and might get some ink touched up or a new piece here and there. But for the most part, I stay home. And the main reason why I do this is because I have just found out that I'm not safe out there anymore. This is not a world that I'm proud of anymore based on the way people act. They are horrible. My wife and I talk all the time about the manners of people and the thought process of people. What are they thinking when they absolutely break every rule in the book just because it's convenient for them? Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about the convenience for other people. Don't hold the door for senior citizens or handicapped people, because Lord knows that extra 30 seconds that it takes you to walk into the goddamn Walmart is so important that you need to make somebody fall down to do it. Lord knows that when you go in there to buy whatever it is that you're going to buy, that 30 seconds of door holding is going to hold you up so much that it's going to destroy your entire day. Well, guess what, asshole? It's not. So if I'm speaking to any of you assholes out there that do these sort of things, stop. And for those of you who do not, for those of you who are still courteous, for those of you who still do the right thing, for those of you who still have self-pride in the way you treat others and conduct yourself in public, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I'm going to keep this little short today. Like I said, it's my very first one on the new host. But I am really glad to be back. I've been gone far longer than I intended. You can still find us on the same platforms that you could find us before. Still on Twitter at Opinionation84. Still on Instagram at Opinionation84. As soon as this hits and I get everything loaded up, sometime later today or tomorrow, this will show up on Spotify and the iTunes and Apple and all those various places. So you'll be able to find us. And I just want to really, really thank you for being loyal listeners, for all the people who download and listen to our show every single day. I will be back in the regular studio very soon. I'm not even going to give you a date anymore, but I'll be back in there very soon. I've got a little bit of new equipment I'm working with. I've got a few technical issues trying to learn how to work it. So we will be back. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns or topics of things that you would like us to discuss on the show, opinionation84@gmail.com. Send us an email. Look forward to hearing from you. This is King Daddy. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.